Her name was Eleanor. At 68, she did everything the magazines told her to. Collagen powders in her morning coffee, retinol at night, vitamin C serum before lunch. She even followed YouTubers half her age touting jade rollers and 10-step routines. Her skin was smooth, yes, but her face still looked tired. When she came to my clinic, she wasn't asking for Botox or surgery. She said, "Doc, I don't want to look 30. I just want to stop looking like I haven't slept in a year." I examined her closely. Her skin wasn't the issue. It was her structure. Her jawline had softened, the area around her temples had hollowed, and her cheeks had descended ever so slightly. Beneath the surface, Eleanor was losing bone density and facial fat, two silent drivers of facial aging that no serum could touch. That moment changed how I talk to every patient about aging. Because the truth is, your skin might lie to you, but your bones never do. Most anti-aging advice only goes skin deep. But what if I told you that the real story of aging isn't written on your skin? It's written in your skeleton, in your teeth, in the fat pads that quietly shrink and shift. And no, this isn't about chasing perfection. This is about knowledge, about knowing where to invest your energy, so you don't waste another dollar on the 12th eye cream that promises to reverse time. Today, let's pull back the curtain on aging, real aging, not the filtered, airbrush version, the biological, structural, hormonal, silent process that no influencer is talking about, but every wise woman deserves to understand. Because real rejuvenation starts far deeper than your mirror's reflection. And it's never too late to begin. Myth number 1, it's too late to reverse aging. If I had $1 for every time a patient over 60 sighed and said, "It's too late for me, doc," I'd have enough to buy every anti-aging cream on the market and still not fix what really matters. Here's the truth. It's never too late. Your body may not regenerate like it did in your 20s, but the capacity to repair, rebuild, and rejuvenate never fully goes away. It just requires a smarter, more strategic approach. Let's talk science. The skin is a dynamic organ. It constantly undergoes renewal, even in older adults. The turnover rate slows with age, from every 28 days in youth to roughly every 45 to 60 days in seniors. But it never stops. That means your skin is still responding, still healing, still listening to what you feed it and how you treat it. Collagen, for example, is a protein that gives your skin its firmness and bounce. While collagen production declines with age, it can still be stimulated. Micronutrients like vitamin C, zinc, and amino acids remain critical for this process, and gentle practices like facial massage, resistance training, and protein-rich diets support collagen remodeling, not just in the skin, but in the joints, muscles, and connective tissues. And let's not forget your lifestyle. Sleep, hydration, sun protection. These are not just prevention tools. They're repair mechanisms. One study found that even elderly individuals showed visible improvements in skin elasticity and tone after 12 weeks of simple, consistent care. So no, aging isn't a finish line, it's a phase. And like every phase, it responds to how you live, move, and nourish yourself. The idea that it's too late is not biology. It's marketing. And you, my friend, are wiser than that. Beyond skin, bone loss, and fat shifts. When we talk about aging, most people immediately think of wrinkles, fine lines, and sagging skin. They reach for another serum, another mask. But very few stop to ask, what is the skin resting on? And that's where the conversation turns from surface level to skeletal. Here's something most skincare ads never mention. Your face is aging from the inside out. One of the most underappreciated truths in dermatology and geriatric medicine is the role of facial skeletal atrophy, the gradual loss of bone mass in your skull that begins in your 30s and accelerates postmenopause. This includes zygomatic resorption, the cheekbones losing volume, orbital rim recession, eye sockets widening, and mandibular bone loss, your jawbone shrinking. The result? Your skin begins to drape over a diminishing frame, like fabric slipping off a shrinking mannequin. Let me give you a real example. A few years ago, I saw a 63-year-old woman named Linda. She came in frustrated. "I've tried everything, collagen supplements, hyaluronic acid. even radio frequency facials. But my face still looks tired and hollow. She was doing all the right things for her skin. What she didn't know was that her bones were slowly changing the shape of her face. Her temples had hollowed, a classic sign of temporal bone recession. Her under-eye area was sunken, not from skin thinning alone, but from orbital bone loss. And her cheeks had flattened, not because she lost fat, but because her zygomatic bones were no longer projecting forward as they did in her youth. We did a DEXA scan, a bone density test, and sure enough, she had early signs of osteopenia, not just in her spine and hips, but also in her maxillofacial bones. Her facial structure was receding, and her skin was just following the collapse underneath. Now let's talk fat. Facial fat pads are compartmentalized, not just one big layer like many assume. Some compartments shrink with age, like those in the mid-face, while others expand or descend due to gravity, like the jowls or under the chin. This asymmetric fat remodeling is a major cause of the tired, sagging look associated with aging. In postmenopausal women, hormonal shifts exacerbate both bone loss and fat redistribution. Estrogen, which once helped maintain collagen and bone density, drops sharply, accelerating structural changes that no topical product can fix. So what can you do? First, understand that bone is living tissue. It responds to stimulus, especially resistance training, calcium-rich nutrition, and adequate vitamin D. Second, recognize that fat loss on the face isn't always a good thing. Crash diets and extreme cardio may slim you down, but they can also age your face by emptying those key fat pads prematurely. True facial rejuvenation isn't about stretching the skin or injecting fillers into every crease. It's about supporting the architecture beneath. Strong bones, stable fat compartments, and slow, graceful change. That is the foundation of timeless beauty. The forgotten factor, dental health. Of all the anti-aging secrets out there, this one might surprise you. Your dentist holds more power over your facial aging than your esthetician ever will. Yes, really. Here's what most people don't realize. Beneath your gums lies the alveolar bone, a critical part of your facial structure that supports your teeth, lips, and lower face. As we age, and especially in the presence of periodontal disease, gum disease, this bone begins to erode, leading not just to loose teeth, but a dramatic change in facial appearance. I've had patients who spent thousands on high-end skincare, only to wonder why their mouth looked sunken or their lower face seemed to collapse inward. In nearly every case, gum health was the hidden culprit. When the alveolar bone deteriorates, the skin and muscles that once rested snugly against it begin to lose support. This contributes to perioral wrinkles around the lips, marionette lines, and a shortening of the lower face. All signs that age you by a decade or more, even if your skin is otherwise clear and smooth. Let's talk solutions because they're surprisingly simple. The most effective anti-aging tool you're probably ignoring? Dental floss. Yes, that $3 roll of string can do more to preserve your jawline than most $100 creams. Regular flossing reduces plaque buildup, lowers inflammation, and most importantly, prevents the progression of gum disease that leads to bone loss. Brushing is important, of course, but brushing alone only cleans about 60% of the tooth surface. Flossing reaches where your toothbrush can't, especially in those tight spaces where bone loss often begins. I once told a patient who was obsessed with her vitamin C serum to put it down and pick up her phone, to call her dentist, not her esthetician. She laughed, but she did it. And months later, she returned, beaming, not because her skin looked different, but because her whole face looked supported again. Anti-aging doesn't always come in shiny bottles. Sometimes it comes with mini floss and a little discipline. And if you want to age gracefully, don't just think about skincare. Think about jaw care. Because a strong foundation starts in your mouth. Weight loss and hollow face syndrome. Weight loss is often celebrated as a triumph of discipline and health, and in many ways, it is. But for women over 50, the story isn't so black and white. I've seen patients glow with pride after shedding pounds, only to return weeks later with a different kind of concern. Why does my face look older? This phenomenon has a name: hollow face syndrome. And it's one of the most common, yet least discussed, consequences of rapid or aggressive weight loss, especially in older adults. You see, facial fat is not just about aesthetics. It's structural. It cushions, supports, and smooths. When you lose weight too quickly, your body doesn't just pull fat from your belly or thighs. It draws from wherever it can, including the delicate fat pads in your cheeks, under your eyes, and around your temples. The result? A gaunt, sunken look that can make you appear tired, stressed, or even ill. Take the case of Deborah, a 61-year-old teacher who came to me after losing 30 pounds in 4 months on GLP-1 medication, Ozempic. While her blood sugar was better and her waistline slimmer, she confessed that she no longer recognized herself in the mirror. "I finally fit in my old jeans," she said, "but I look 10 years older in the face." She wasn't alone. These new weight loss drugs are powerful tools, especially for those with metabolic conditions, but they're not without side effects. Fat loss from the face is not selective, and when combined with age-related fat compartment shrinkage and collagen decline, it accelerates visible aging. The good news? You don't have to choose between your health and your face. Slow, gradual weight loss, about 1 to 2 pounds per week, allows the body to adjust. Supportive nutrition, especially protein and healthy fats, hydration, and resistance training help preserve muscle mass and maintain facial volume. And most importantly, frame your goal around health, not just numbers. The scale doesn't know the difference between the fat that supports your cheekbones and the fat you want to lose. Deborah eventually found a rhythm, adjusting her dose, lifting light weights, and increasing her protein intake. And while her face didn't return to its 40-year-old fullness, it regained balance. She learned that aging well isn't just about what you lose, it's about what you choose to keep. So if you're on a journey to better health, don't forget to bring your face along for the ride. Smoking, alcohol, and collagen breakdown. You've probably heard it before. Smoking and drinking are bad for your skin. But what does that actually mean on a cellular level, on a collagen level, and most importantly, on your face? Let's break it down like a doctor would. When you smoke, even just occasionally, you're delivering a potent cocktail of toxins directly into your bloodstream and skin tissues. Nicotine is a vasoconstrictor, which means it tightens your blood vessels, restricting the flow of oxygen and nutrients to the skin. Less oxygen means fewer building blocks to maintain healthy skin cells and repair damaged ones. But that's only the beginning. Studies have shown that nicotine accelerates the breakdown of collagen and elastin, the two critical proteins that keep your skin firm and elastic. One 2010 study published in the Journal of Dermatological Science found that smokers had 40% fewer dermal collagen fibers than non-smokers of the same age. It's no coincidence that smokers' lines around the mouth are so common, even in people who only smoke socially. But if nicotine is bad, alcohol isn't doing you any favors either. Ethanol, the active ingredient in alcoholic beverages, acts as a systemic dehydrator and free radical generator. That means it dries out your skin from within and triggers oxidative stress, a process that damages cells and speeds up aging. Chronic alcohol use leads to vitamin depletion, especially A, C, and E, further starving the skin of the nutrients it needs to produce collagen. Not to mention, alcohol severely impairs sleep quality, and your skin does most of its repair work at night. The cumulative effect? Premature sagging, dullness, uneven skin tone, broken capillaries, and that telltale weathered look many women desperately try to reverse with skincare. Let me tell you about Carla, a 58-year-old former bartender who came to my clinic wanting to tighten up her jawline and reduce redness on her cheeks. Her skincare routine was flawless. Retinol? Check. Vitamin C? Double check. Sunscreen? Daily. But her nightly glass, or two, of wine and years of social smoking were quietly undoing all her efforts. When we looked at her blood work and facial scan, the story was clear. Her capillary health was compromised, and the skin matrix beneath the surface had thinned significantly. No cream was going to fix that. So what did she do? She made a pact. 1 glass of wine, only on weekends. No more cigarettes, not even just at parties. She focused on hydration, started taking a high-quality antioxidant supplement, and most importantly, began strength training to increase circulation and skin repair. 3 months later, Carla didn't just look younger. She looked alive, radiant, not because of a new product, but because her cells were no longer under attack. If you're still clinging to the idea that your skincare can outrun your cigarettes or cocktails, I say this gently. It won't. Here's your prescription. Quit smoking. No exceptions. Limit alcohol to 1 to 2 drinks per week, if at all. Replenish antioxidants with leafy greens, berries, and targeted supplements. Prioritize sleep like it's a serum, because true skin healing starts when you stop the damage. Sun exposure, the invisible culprit. If you ask most women over 50 what they regret about their skincare past, one answer surfaces again and again. I wish I had worn more sunscreen. While wrinkles and sagging may feel inevitable, one of the most aggressive and preventable drivers of facial aging is chronic sun exposure, even the kind you don't feel. Ultraviolet, UV, radiation doesn't just burn your skin, it silently penetrates the dermis, breaking down 2 of the skin's most vital proteins, collagen and elastin. Here's how it works. UV rays trigger the production of matrix metalloproteinases, MMPs, enzymes that degrade collagen fibers and disrupt skin structure. Think of it like termites eating away at the beams holding up your house, slowly, invisibly, until the walls begin to sag. Even mild daily exposure, like walking the dog or driving to the grocery store, adds up over decades. By the time the damage is visible, much of the internal support has already been lost. The good news? You can still intervene. Daily SPF should be as routine as brushing your teeth. I recommend a broad-spectrum sunscreen SPF 30 or higher, reapplied every 2 to 3 hours if you're outdoors. But sun protection isn't just about creams. UPF-rated clothing, wide-brim hats, and UV-blocking sunglasses make a huge difference, especially for mature skin. I had a patient in her 70s, Margaret, who started applying sunscreen diligently at age 60. By 70, her skin had visibly improved, not because the damage reversed completely, but because future damage had been stopped in its tracks. Sun exposure is sneaky, silent, and accumulative. But protection? That's immediate and powerful. Let your skin age with wisdom, not regret. Because the sun never takes a day off, neither should your sunscreen. The big 5 of skin aging. Most people think aging skin is all about wrinkles and sunspots. But if we pull back the curtain and look beneath the surface, 5 core forces are shaping the face you see in a mirror. These aren't cosmetic trends, they're biological truths. Let's break down the big 5 drivers of skin aging that go largely ignored. 1. Bone loss. Your facial bones, especially the jaw, cheeks, and orbital rim, lose density with age. As they shrink and recede, the skin and fat lose their supportive framework, leading to sagging and hollowing that no cream can correct. 2. Fat displacement. Youthful faces have fat in the right places, high in the cheeks, evenly distributed. With age, fat pads shift downward and shrink unevenly, creating jowls, under-eye bags, and asymmetry. 3. Gum health. Gums support the lower face. Periodontal disease leads to bone loss in the jaw, causing the mouth to collapse inward and deepening wrinkles around the lips. Flossing isn't vanity, it's preservation. 4. Chronic inflammation. Silent, systemic inflammation, fueled by poor diet, lack of sleep, and stress, weakens collagen and accelerates aging. This internal fire smolders constantly unless put out by lifestyle changes. 5. Lifestyle rhythm. Irregular sleep, constant dieting, sedentary habits, all disrupt your body's repair cycle. Skin thrives on consistency. Your body needs rhythm to regenerate well. These 5 pillars are the real architects of how you age. Support them, and your skin will thank you far longer than any miracle serum ever could. Myth number 2. People think I'm younger than I am. We've all heard it. That one friend who loves to say, people always think I'm in my 30s, while she's clearly pushing 60. And hey, maybe she really does look youthful. But let's break it down. Is it biology or just behavior? The truth is, age perception is a cocktail of many things, and not all of them are skin deep. Yes, smooth skin and bright eyes help, but often what makes someone appear younger is how they carry themselves. Let's start with posture. Standing tall with your shoulders back not only protects your spine, it projects confidence, vitality, and youth. Compare that to someone hunched over a phone, shuffling through the grocery store. Same age, very different vibe. Then there's tone of voice and facial expression. People who smile more, speak with curiosity, and stay engaged in conversation are often perceived as more vibrant, regardless of crow's feet or forehead lines. And let's not forget energy. Optimism, humor, and a willingness to try new things signal youth far more powerfully than makeup ever could. One study from Psychology and Aging even found that people who scored higher on positive affect were consistently perceived as younger, even when shown in neutral portraits. So the next time you hear someone say, "They thought I was 10 years younger," smile politely. Maybe it's the moisturizer. Or maybe it's the fact that she dances in the kitchen, cracks dad jokes, and still wears Converse to the farmer's market. Because at the end of the day, youthfulness isn't always about less age. It's about more life. Skincare doesn't start with what you put on your face. It starts with what holds your face up. We spent far too long chasing surface-level solutions, serums, creams, peels, while quietly ignoring the deeper layers. The bones, the fat pads, the muscles, the daily habits that build or break them down. Aging gracefully isn't about hiding your years. It's about respecting the biology that shaped them. So here's your new daily ritual. No serum required. 1-dot brush, not just your hair or skin, but your teeth and gums. Healthy gums protect facial structure. A strong jawline starts with floss. 2-dot move, a walk, some light weights, a yoga flow. Movement maintains muscle, supports bone density, and boosts circulation. Nature's free glow up. 3-dot nourish, feed your body like it matters. Protein, hydration, and micronutrients don't just fuel your day. They rebuild your skin from within. Let me leave you with someone special. Lucille, a retired nurse I once treated. She never had Botox, never owned a $200 cream, but she had the most luminous presence. Eyes alert, posture proud, face expressive. Her secret? I brush, I walk, I eat well. I don't chase youth. I chase strength. And there it was. Her face didn't just age well, it lived well. So the next time you're tempted to buy another miracle product, pause and ask, am I taking care of what's under the skin too? Because true beauty, resilient, graceful, enduring beauty, starts from the inside and works its way out. Always.